My blood boil. Basically, I was walking through the living room last night on my way to the toilet, and I looked up on the shelf, because my mum's got like this huge bookshelf with just like years worth of books on there. And I looked to the top and I was like, oh, that's new. And it's one of those like film guides. Which I've completely destroyed. But so, and I love those. I know everyone says you can look on the internet now, but I like the idea of having a book and just flicking through it and being like, oh, this film, this film, this film, and let's see what everyone says about them. Because they're supposed to be kind of a wise opinion, aren't they? It's supposed to be like the universal thought on a film. So this is the Time Out film guide. A lovely picture of Penelope Cruz there. And I have to say, it says on the front it's a comprehensive and absolutely indispensable book. But I think it's one big fat pile of shit. And I'm going to give my evidence for this by telling all of my friends and myself what it says about our favourite films. So I'm going to start with Holly, who loves Rent. It starts off with this awesomely tedious adaptation of Jonathan Larson's stage musical. So tedious. It also goes on to say the fraught on-off romance between failed musician Roger and junkie stripper Mimi, both HIV positive, is supposed to give the piece its emotional core, but scrappily constructed subplots and chronological jumps keep getting in the way. And the insistence on shooting the whole thing in one style, endless close-ups in motion, interspersed with looping tracks and crane shots, contributes to the overall sense of formlessness and repetition. It says it has unlovely characters and unlovely songs. So basically, it just says it's one big pile of shit. So now I will go on. This one is for Beth. Battle Royale, which is one of our favourite films. Basically, it says that it's not this noisy and bombastic adaptation of a recent pulp novel doesn't shape up as satire or death sport fantasy. It also says that the director is past it. His name is Kinji Fukasaku, and he's a veteran in Japan, like really famous. And so in this review they've claimed that he's past it. It says his view of teenage life, flashbacks to happier days, strumming guitar in the school dorm, is positively geriatric. I don't think how these people can say this because it's not being reviewed by a Japanese person, so how can they think they understand Japanese cinema? And it did well over there. And it says the kills are bloodless and lacking in hardcore nastiness. Oh, whatever. Really, really annoys me. I'm just going to go on to a few of my favourite films, which it's really upset me what's been said about them. I still think they're awesome films, basically. The Ring, as in the American remake, which I spoke about on my film blog. You'll be an advantage watching this remake if you've already seen Hideo Nakata's classic modern chiller, Ring. The Japanese original is more creepy for being insidiously mysterious. To be fair, however, Verbinski's more expensive revamp treats it with a surprising degree of respect. At this point I was like, yeah, good, you're right. The central concept is the same urban legend teaser, the videotape which brings death to all those who see it, exactly 7 days later. Watts grits her teeth again as a newspaper reporter whose niece is amongst the spate of perplexing teenage fatalities. At first she's sceptical about the notion of a killer vid connecting the victims, but the enigmatic images on the tape convince her to take it seriously. If the testimonies are true, however, she has only a week to live. It's symptomatic of this version that the said video plays more like conspicuously art-directed MTV surrealism than Nakata's haunting, rough-hewn artifact. Heavier on backstory, the remake loses some of the goose pimple factor through dogged over-elaboration, even muffling what was its predecessor's hairiest set piece. Not everything it might have been, but then decent enough to have you tracking down the original. What? Decent enough? Just... It says good stuff about ginger snaps in here though, Beth. That's a good thing. I looked up a couple of my other favourite films as well. It said Centre Stage was just like a poor remake of Fame. Move with me here so I can look at the other films. Silent Hill, it said that it was rubbish and was hard to follow the narrative, which is just pathetic because you don't need to be able to follow a narrative in a film, even though it has a narrative and you can follow it anyway. Oh yeah, Step Up said that the dancing was better than anything else, like the story or anything. Well, there were some others, but I've completely forgotten now. That's really bad. Oh, Cruel Intentions. Just didn't have anything nice to say about that either. Just said that once, it said that Reese Witherspoon gave a poor performance, and once Sarah Michelle Gellar had shown the two sides to her character, there was nothing else worth watching. Just generally a horrible, horrible book that has nothing good to say about films at all. So I think everyone should go out and buy it and then burn one as like a sign that we hate them and that they've ruined our lives. Yeah.